didn't have the money to get me the finer things. And I remember being a kid, like wondering, like, we go to the sports game. Why am I in the nosebleeds? I want to go sit by the players, right? We go to the parking lot. Why do I got to walk 4 miles? Why aren't we parked in the front? So for me, like, I always liked things. And then, I got into real estate. And my first 6 months in the business, I was 20 years old, brand new. And man, I completely struck out. My first 6 months selling real estate, man, I made a big $0. 6 months in, I was about to quit, Jamil. What's up, buddy?
6 months in, $0 like that, and about to quit. Like this is where I think a lot of people that might be joining in today are, because they've been taking a little bit of action. They get to this roadblock, right? It's obstacle number one, or it's big roadblock. At 6 months in, you probably have your family, friends, and significant others telling you you're out of your flipping mind. Go get a job.
Everybody. I mean, I'll tell you a funny story real quick. So when I was first in real estate, I was walking around the Rouse grocery store, and I ran into a buddy of mine's parents from high school. You guys got to remember, I'm a 20-year-old kid, right? And I'm talking to him. He's like, what are you up to nowadays? I'm like, oh, I'm a real estate agent. I was so proud. I had my 1985 Buick Park Avenue in the parking lot. And he looks at me dead in the eye and he starts laughing at me. He goes, you think you're going to make 6 figures? I'll never forget this moment. I looked at him dead in the eyes and I said, no, I'm going to make 7. Yeah. So listen, like, people are always going to shoot you down. They're going to give you every reason why you can't do it. And here's the truth. As humans, we're all told, go get advice. Go ask someone that could be a mentor. So, most of the country, we see someone driving a C-Class Mercedes and we think they got it all figured out, right? So then we start taking advice from the wrong people. So here's what I like to say. You will never find a legit real estate investor like myself, like Jamil, right? A legit real estate investor that tells you not to get into real estate. The only person that's going to tell you not to get into real estate is somebody that is not in real estate. So you're taking
so advice true
that knows nothing about real estate. This is the most opportunistic business in the world. So 6 months in the business, Jamil, totally struck out, no money, ready to quit, go back to college. A flyer came in my box at the office one day, and I got invited to a free coaching event in Buena Park, California, at a Sequoia Athletic Club. Okay?
So like a seminar kind of thing?
A seminar. So
just how'd that go?
Just like what we're doing right now, right here today. Exactly like this. I used to be one of the people in events like this. So I don't know what happened, but this speaker, Mike Ferry, this guy's a genius, dude.
I love Mike Ferry.
If there's any real estate people on here, you guys know Mike Ferry. So Mike Ferry convinced 20-year-old Tarek he's the smartest guy alive. He's the most unstoppable guy alive. He could accomplish anything. So at the end of this event, I walked up to Mike and I gave him a piece of paper. I said, my name is Tarek El Moussa. You do not know who I am today, but one day you will. And by the way, he knows who I am today. So I signed up for one-on-one coaching. And here's what happened. At the time, I just broke up with my girlfriend. My parents got divorced. I got kicked out of her house. I had nowhere to go. I called my mom. I was like, Mom, I got to move back home. And she's like, well, I just rented out your bedroom. I'm like, shit, what am I going to do? And I was like, well,
she was quick. She was quick to not let you back. She was like, no, he's out.
Yeah, I don't blame her. So here's what happened. I ended up signing up for coaching. It was $1,000 a month. And you guys think about this. This is 2003. I'm 20 years old. I'm living in a garage. I'm totally broke. And I put $1,000 a month on my credit card. All in, burn the boats, right? So here's what happened. I told myself, young Tarek, I said, buddy, you got 90 days. Seriously, this is a true story. I told myself, you have 90 days to prove yourself in real estate or you're going back to school. And that was the deal I made with myself. And for this 90 days, I worked 12 to 14-hour days, Monday through Saturday. And then Sunday nights, I'd work 3 hours. It was all prospecting, all phone calls. And here's what happened. About 90 days later, from being a broke kid with no money, I ended up making about $120,000 in real estate commissions selling houses.
Wow.
So now I'm just turning 21 years old. I'm making like $40,000 a month. I moved from my mom's garage and I bought $1 million house up in Orange County, California. So this is what I say about real estate. Forget all the bullshit anyone has ever told you, because if you're driven, if you're committed, you put in the work, your life can change very, very fast. And the reason I'm saying that is because it happened to me. Okay. So I changed my life super, super fast. And then, the Great Recession hit. and all my listings were sitting. I wasn't selling any houses.
Did you go broke in the Great Recession?
Yeah, I went broke, man. So I had to sell my houses, my cars, everything. And I ended up moving into this tiny little apartment with a roommate, which was a big change. You know, I was driving an S500 Bravos at 21, I had 21-inch rims, I had the stereo system, I had an Escalade. Like, you know, I thought I had
You're balling big T.
Yeah, I thought I was. Thought. And there's levels to this game, which I learned that too. So then I was like, I stopped making money, so I had to sell everything. And I struggled real bad, man. 2007, 8, 9. Those were the roughest years of my life, man. I remember I went 4 months in 2007 without one paycheck. And I was just scraping by. And you want to hear about how I started flipping houses, Jamil? What do you think?
Please. Because I know the story, but like it still blows my mind. It still blows my mind how you put this together, because you are now known as one of the most prolific house flippers in the nation. And your origin story for this is awesome. Yes, share it, please.
All right, so here it is. So 2009, this thing called short sales started coming around. And I do a short sale transaction. It had a first lien, second lien, third lien, HOA lien, IRS lien. Like, I worked this deal for 11 months. Like, I worked it so hard. And at the end of the day, I got a check for $7,000.
Wow.
And then I sold the house to an investor. He painted it. He hired a gardener. He cut the lawn. He put it back on the market, flipped it, and made like $127,000. And that was the boom. And I realized I was on the wrong side of the equation. I was like, wait a minute. I found the deal. I negotiated the deal. I worked with the bank. I did everything. I made $7 grand. The investor made almost 130 grand. So then that was the point where I'm like, oh, I got to become a real estate investor. Okay. So then I went to everybody I knew and I pitched my business plan. Every single person I talked to, with the exception of my father, told me, you can't flip houses. It's too speculative. It's too risky. You're too young. You don't have the edge. They gave me every reason why I couldn't do it. And every time someone tells me I can't do something, it just fuels me so bad, because I'm like, I will prove you wrong, right? That's one of the keys to my success, is I'm so driven because I want to prove people wrong, because I'm a believer that anything is possible. Like, legit, anything is. We got people that have been on the moon, like going to Saturn and stuff, right? Like, anything is possible, right? So for me, I just went for it, and everybody said no. So I finally found someone dumb enough to say yes. And it turns out the guy that was dumb enough to say yes was the only wealthy person I asked.
Wow. Everybody else guys, that right there is a life hack. Okay. Because what Tarek is explaining to us is it's very important to measure who you're asking advice from and seeking resources from. If their life doesn't display their capacity to excel, to create opportunity, and to have a high value life, why the hell are you going to them for any advice? And why are you going to them for money? Why would you ever want to raise money from people who have no money? They're just going to tell you every reason why it's not going to work, because it's never worked for them.
Yep.
So you went to your wealthy friend funds you, and what ends up happening then?
So it was the funniest thing. I was like, hey man, you want to like flip houses with me? And within like seconds, he's like, sure. If you find a deal, I'll buy it. I'm like, all right. So then we made a deal. I'm going to find the houses. I'm going to fix the houses. I'm going to sell the houses. I'm going to do everything. You put up the money. We split profits 50-50. So we said yes. We bought our first property at auction. It was a condo in Santa Ana, paid $115 for this thing. I did everything. I painted the walls. I installed the baseboards. I burned my feet with acid. I electrocuted myself with a vanity. I painted all the baseboards to the floor. Like, I did everything wrong. I don't know anything.
It sounds like you went through a prisoner of war torture. Dude, you electrocuted yourself. What did you do to your nipples?
My nipples.
Just playing.
I burned my feet, Jamil.
You burned your feet with acid, bro? Come on.
Well, dude, listen, like, I don't know anything about construction, and I get this acid washing kit, right? It's at Home Depot or something, and there's like, you know, the skulls and crossbones and warnings and shit. I'm like, all right, Tarek, for the first time in your life, follow instructions, right? So I open up the box and it tells me what to do. So I put the blue gloves on, I prep everything, I take my sandals off, I hop in the shower, and I start doing the walls. Well, Nowhere did it say anything about covering up my feet. They didn't give me any booties. They gave me gloves. So next thing I know, my feet are getting hot. I'm in this shower, and then it hits me. I'm like, oh, the acid. So then my feet are on fire. I jump out of the shower. I go to the bathtub. I turn the water on, and the idiot owner turned the water off to the building because he was working on it.
No.
So then I go running out the front door. I jump into the community pool with my legs, and then I finally cool my feet down. So like everything wrong. But here's what I did right. I was at this project probably 12 to 16 hours a day, just figuring it out. I got the entire remodel done in like 17 days. And here's the interesting thing. The same time I had bought that house, I ended up going out to Las Vegas to a Mike Ferry real estate convention. And at the time, I was still a real estate agent. I always used to sit in the very back. You know, there's like 5,000 people there. And then to sit in the front, that's for the VIPs, which you got to be, you know, super successful.
Yeah, you got to, I think they're paying them like $5,000 a month.
Yeah, I didn't have $5,000 back then. So two people left the front row. My buddy was the vice president of Cole Baker. He's like, hey, Tarek, he texts me. He's like, hey, you want to come sit in the very front row? I'm like, heck yeah, let's do it. And here's the interesting part. And I suggest all of you guys do this. It was life-changing for me. So the night before, Mike gets on stage and he tells us, I want you guys to go out to a dinner you can't afford. I want you to go drink wine you can't afford. I want you to go buy clothing you can't afford. I want you to live a lifestyle for one night that you're striving for, that you can't afford today. And you know what? We did it. And to this day, it was one of the most magical moments of my life. So now we ended up going to this fancy Italian restaurant. I got like $150 bottle of wine. I was like, man, this is living, right? So now, and then I ended up finding a Zegna store in Las Vegas. All the Zegna stuff was 60% off. So I remember I got my first Zegna suit for $800.
Damn.
So now I'm sitting in the front row, VIP Zegna suit, feeling like a champ. And at the break, all these people in the very front row come up to me and my ex-wife. They're like, hey, what are you guys doing up here? Who are you? We haven't seen you here before. So I start talking to this guy, and he tells me he has a local TV show in Palm Springs. I'm like, okay, well, what does that do? And he goes, well, I go to the grocery store and like people recognize me. I'm like, okay, well, it's cool to be famous and all, but like, what does that do? And he goes, well, then they do business with me. And I was like, bingo. So then we leave Vegas. I think it was like a day or two later, and I'm sitting, it's like 10 o'clock at night. I'm sitting on the couch and I'm thinking about this guy and his TV show. So my ex-wife's like, hey, are you going to bed? She starts walking up the stairs. I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm going to get us a TV show.
It's like, guys, the reason I laugh is because, look, what he just said is one of the most impossible things to accomplish. I'm not kidding you. Like you just don't wake up in the morning and decide, hey, I'm going to get a TV show, but Tarek El Moussa does. And then what happens? I
looked at her. I said, I'm going to get a TV show. She looked at me and laughed at me. She said, you're crazy. What the hell are we going to do? What are we going to do on TV? So then I thought for a second, 2 seconds, and then it hit me. I'm like, well, we just bought our first flip. What if we flip houses on TV? She shook her head, laughed, and went upstairs. I immediately went onto Google, put in Hollywood production company, started going to websites, looked for casting buttons, sent pictures, bios. Long story short, woke up the next day. One of the companies wrote back. They said, we like your stuff. Send us a home video. So then I documented the very first flip. They loved it. They sent us out for a 2-day professional shoot. So they came with the real cameras, filmed for 2 days, and we made a sizzle reel, which is like a 3 to 5 minute video. And with that video, you shop it to the networks. Nobody wanted it. So nobody bit. So I was like, okay, well, I just kept, going through life. About 10 months later, I got a call from the production company saying, you're not going to believe it, but a network, HGTV, wants to do a pilot of a house flipping show. I was like, that's it. That's our pilot. So summer 2011, we shoot the pilot. They tell me if you guys get picked up, it's going to take a long time, if ever. It's really hard to do. Literally weeks after sending the pilot episode over to the network, I got a contract to flip 13 houses on national TV in 10 months. Exciting, right? That's
so dope, bro.
2 problems.
What?
1, I don't know how to flip houses, Jamil.
It's so good. It's so good.
Okay. Problem number 2. Life is about obstacles, right? Problem number 2. Even if I know how to flip houses, I don't have any money. Where the hell am I going to get millions? Where am I going to get millions of dollars to buy 13 houses in 10 months? Like, how's that going to happen? So at this point, I had done 3 flips my entire life. So I called my lawyer at the time, who took it on a payment plan retainer, poor guy. And I told him, I was like, hey man, so like, what's the worst that could happen? He's like, well, they can sue you. I'm like, huh. So I remember sitting in my apartment. I remember looking around my apartment. I was like, you know what? They can have it. So I signed that contract, man. And I just told myself, just like I've done in other areas of my life, it's like burn the boats. You got to go all in. And I told myself, if I sign this contract, I'm going to go all in. And I did it, man. I worked like some days I'd work 20 hours straight. Like I was literally working all day. I'd leave my house every single night from 10 p.m. until 4 a.m. driving all over Southern California, driving by houses that were going to auction the next day. The reason I had to drive by those houses is because I couldn't buy occupied properties. I couldn't evict people, right? So I needed vacant houses. And then I'd go to the auction. I'd be like, my max bid's 300. I'd be so excited, right? All of a sudden, the hedge fund next to me bid 400,000. I'm at 400,000.
How are you going to make that work?
How am I ever going to make this work? I go back the next day. I bid 350. Someone else bid 450. I can't compete. But I kept going every single day. And guess what happened, Jamil? This is what I always say. If you take massive action, you're bound to get lucky. So one day property comes up. I bid on it 350. Nobody else bid.
Got it.
I got a house. Here's what I learned. If you keep showing up every single day, you're going to get lucky. And that's what happened.
That's it. So you get and so you have to do that 13 times after that?
Yeah, so I was buying at the auctions, and then I started getting short sales, and then as the year went on, I started learning new ways to flip houses. And by my third year flipping, I think I did 88 deals. So for me, I was under so much stress and pressure to accomplish a TV contract. It forced me to learn how to flip houses and how to flip them good.
So the beautiful part about this, right, is this is like the origin story of this. If you guys aren't aware, I'm sure all of you are, but this is the most famous person in our entire space of house flipping. Like no joke. If there's a A-list, B-list, C-list, D-list,
got even scarier. So because of that misdiagnosis from that doctor, I ended up looking through old medical records, and then they found I had a irregular testicle exam during a physical a year before. So just as a precaution, they wanted me to go get that checked out. And the irony of it all is I was at my doctor for my thyroid cancer, and last second while I was there, they had an opening for an ultrasound in the same building. So I walked over, got the ultrasound. I was talking to the x-ray technician. We were just, chatting. He's talkative, And all of a sudden he got quiet, Jamil. And I was like, oh, why is this guy getting quiet? And I was like, hey, like, what's going on? What do you see? And he's like, oh, nothing. I'm like, what do you see? He's like, I'm not a doctor. I'm like, dude, you were talking a second ago. You're not talking anymore. What's wrong? And he goes, did you say you're in pain? I was like, what are you talking about? And then he goes, if you're in pain, the emergency room's right down the hall.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah. About 15, 20 minutes later, I'm meeting with a doctor, and then I find out I have testicular cancer and I'm scheduling surgery. So I'm like, 30, 31 years old. I got a young child, brand new to TV, and I find out I have 2 different cancers. So it was devastating, and I had a choice, man. I could roll up shop, quit, call it a day, or I can keep fighting. I'll never forget the network saying, hey, we understand, we don't have to do the show. And I said, we are not going anywhere. I'm going to film until the second they poke my neck with that knife. And I did it. So I filmed all the way up until my surgeries, had my surgeries. And I think it was about a week after my surgery, I went back on camera. And if you watch that episode, you could actually hear my voice because it was pretty messed up because I had a big scar and a tube coming out of my neck. But, I just kept going and I kept believing, and that was it.
Guys, we've got 300 of you in the waiting room still. Come on in. You're missing the incredibleness. Emily, do they have an option to turn their cameras on?
No, just us.
Oh, just us. Okay. In the future, is there an option for them to turn their cameras on?
Yeah, we can.
I think it would be neat to see all them faces.
Yeah,
okay,
I like
we
that.
can do that tomorrow.
Okay. It's too late to do today.
Yeah, I don't know how. Bobby might need to help me with that on the back end.
Okay, we'll see if we can figure it out. Because hey, and if we can't figure it out, whoever's not wearing pants, get pants. So,
Hey,
Tarek,
I appreciate the love in the chat, guys. It means a lot.
It's going crazy in here. People are like, there's people in tears. People are incredibly inspired by this. So you've got thyroid cancer, you got testicular cancer. They're both stage 3. I mean, bro, my dad right now has stage 2 prostate cancer, and he's having a rough go.
Yeah.
You got stage 3 thyroid, testicular. This is like no joke. You very well can die.
Yeah.
And you are pushing through. And I understand how grueling filming is because I do it.
Oh, yeah.
You're pushing through, 8-hour days of filming, and then also having to deal with the financial pressures of doing these houses and getting all this done. How did you manage, bro? Was there techniques? Was there things that you were doing in the background to keep yourself grounded, to keep yourself at a high emotional state? Like, what was it that pushed you through?
Drive. It was, drive for me, drive for my family. I mean, the year that I had cancer, the surgery, the treatments, I quadrupled the size of my house flipping business. So I was on set throwing up in the bushes, going back on camera. I'd be standing there getting dizzy. I had no thyroid. Like, I was real messed up, man. But I just kept going. That's one thing I know about life. It's as long as you're in motion, good things are going to happen. It's true, man. Like, as long as you're moving, the second you stop moving is when things start going wrong, just like the human body. We always have to be moving.
Wow. So the drive pushes you, you quadruple the size of your house flipping business. You are going through, and we watched you, I went back and looked at some older episodes, and I could see the physical changes in you.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it, and please don't take this the wrong way. You look better today than you ever have in your life, by the way.
Thank you. And I
absolutely do.
And honestly, I do. You want to know why? I eat healthier than I've ever eaten. I take more vitamins than I've ever taken. And I go to the gym every single day. When I got my cancers, I gained 60 pounds, you guys. I mean, I was up to 240 pounds. And at the time I was a 180-pound guy. And like, I couldn't stop gaining weight because they removed my thyroid, and I had to get ready for radioactive iodine treatments. And they weren't giving me my T3 and T4 supplements. So every day I'd wake up bigger, whether I ate or not. It was crazy. And man, it was just one of the worst experiences of my life. But then my story gets even worse, man, because so then I get through the cancer surgeries, and I got radioactive iodine, where they locked me in a room for a week. They would come in with a hazmat suit and this like metal gun and see how radioactive I was. So then I leave the hospital and they told me for the next 2 weeks, I'm still radioactive. So I need to keep 10 feet distance from my family. And if I touch anything, it becomes radioactive. So I was terrified. I didn't want to go home. So then I'm like, all right, well, what do you do? The day I got out of the hospital, I just started driving around my flips. And I ended up in Barstow, California, sitting in a dirt parking lot thinking, man, what do I do now? Where do I go? And that's where I called this guy, Ronnie. He's on the phone. So Ronnie's been my best friend since we were 5 years old. And I call Ronnie. I'm like, dude, I'm radioactive, man. I have nowhere to go. What should I do? And he goes, just come to my house. I'm like, what do you mean your house? He's like, I don't care. So I'm radioactive. Ronnie's not. So we're just sitting on the couch watching movies for a couple of days, and we hung out. And, you know, it was a great experience for me because he was there for me when I needed him. He let me in his home. I slept in the bedroom, his master bedroom, and he took care of me. So that's why we're doing this today for Ronnie. We're going to take care of Ronnie today. But so I get through all the cancer stuff. I finally, Jamil, after years of feeling like crap, I start feeling good again. And then I hurt my back. And honestly, that was a tougher experience than the cancer. And when I hurt my back for a year, I could barely walk. I was taking Dilaudid, morphine, Percocet, Vicodin. I was sick all the time. I was always high as a kite because of all the meds. And I was in so much pain. I just had to take so much of this crap. And then I went from, 240 pounds down to 167 pounds. So like I gained 60 pounds and then I lost or gained 50 pounds and I lost like 65 pounds. And then if you watch like season 2 and 3 and 4 and those years of Flip or Flop, like one season you see me real overweight. And then the next season I'm like a stick, man. I'm walking with a cane. Like, so for me, I've been sick the majority of my career. That's not wild. So, I mean, I was really messed up for about 3 to 4 years. And during those years is when I built these companies and when I filmed those shows.
Amazing, man. Like this is the chat is losing their mind right now. You are an example of how you can truly push through anything given the right mindset and the right people around you, right? Yeah. Look at this man right here, Ronnie. Ronnie takes the friend award, the friend of the life award today. I mean, bro, I love you, Tarek, but I don't know if I would have called you and said, come hang out with me, radioactive Tarek.
Yeah, I don't think it was a good idea.
I love you, bro, but like I would have said, hey, yo, why don't let's do this jail style. You go outside, hang outside the window. I'll hang outside inside here. We can fist bump through the glass,
Yeah, Ronnie's wondering why he's down to 8 toes. Now he knows.
Ronnie, tell us a little bit about your relationship with this beautiful guy and what brought you to like, how does that come out of you? How does that come out of you? Like, where do you go? Because you put your life on the line every day in your job. You put your life on the line out there. And you absolutely did it when you brought Tarek into your house that day. How do you get that kind of a headspace?
With him in particular and with everybody else, I mean, it's the giving mentality, just being a servant to people, helping people out when they need help. If I can't do it, I know somebody that can. I've heard you guys say that before in terms of investing, but that's the deal. I mean, I'm a fireman. I love this career. In terms of helping my buddy out right here when he had the cancer, that was the least thing I could do. Actually, my wife is still mad about that to this day, because at the time she was my girlfriend and she opened the door and Tarek came in radioactive, pretty hot. And he came into the house. She goes, who is that guy? I go, who is that? It's Tarek. So we turned on the TV and boom, there he was. But the career and being a fireman and just being able to help people on a daily basis is a pretty rad thing to do. And recently, I haven't officially been promoted to fire captain. I'm a fire engineer right now.
Hey.
Yeah. So super excited. I can't wait. I love the city that I work for, City of Palm Springs. The guys at the City of Palm Springs Fire Department are great guys, and we work hard and we like to help people.
Ronnie, what is one of the scariest things you've had to overcome in your career?
Talking.
Really?
Yeah, talking. Learning how to talk. That's the crazy part. Everybody at work, they're probably watching this too, but they know me. I've been I've had issues with talking in the past, a little bit hesitant.
Oh, with me, you never shut up, Ronnie. I don't know what you're talking about.
So that's the thing is everybody says I never shut up, which is true, but sometimes I couldn't connect the dots. So this guy one day decides to ask me to be his best man at his wedding last year.
Oh, now you got to give a speech.
Yeah. So now I have to give a speech in front of, I don't know how many people. I'm shitting my pants, Jamil. That's the truth. It's Tarek. He's my buddy. Like, this is before business. This is before anything. Like, before getting into the investment world, this is a homie of mine that I've known since I was 4 years old. The first time I met him, actually, I don't know if everybody knows this, but he grabbed a ball and he threw it at my head and I hit the floor and I woke up and he was running away. And that's how I met Tarek El Moussa. So
he dodgeball. What did he do? What was the game?
So what we would do is I was in kindergarten.
Let me just clarify, Ronnie. Let's just tell the truth. We hated each other. We were listen, we were arch enemies throughout our childhood. We despised because we used to compete in sports and everything. We were competing all the time, everything, track and field, who could run the most laps, who could throw the softball the furthest, who could beat up who could win in tetherball, who could win it. We would compete every day. And then as we got older, we became friends.
Yeah. When I first met him, Jamil, I was in kindergarten. He was in first grade, and there was a divider. There was a fence that divided him and myself. And so every day he would come by, and we would kind of meet eyes in between the fence, and we were kind of sniffing each other out, just seeing who's who and what's what. So
you're right.
Finally, I get to go outside of my class into the play area to hang out, and as soon as I open the door, red ball. Boom, hits me. I fall straight to the ground. I look up and I see him running off with the ball. And then at that point in time, once I finally hit the field outside of the kindergarten class where we could all actually intermingle, he ended up actually being in the same grade as me. So then we became friends, and then that's how we blossomed. Yeah. But we didn't like each other till what, 7th grade, 6th grade, somewhere around there.
So you were frenemies for a little while too then.
Yeah.
Oh, there was we were enemies, man. We hated each other.
Oh yeah.
Me and Ronnie, we were the kids that would get in the fist fights on the playground every day against each other.
He'd punch me in the face and then he would go cry.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him.
So this is great. I mean, like, look at your guys' evolution of a friendship, right? This is how God works. There was no way that you guys were not going to be friends, that this was meant to be, right? Today is meant to be. This opportunity, everything that you do, who you are as a person, Tarek, the fact that we are all able to come together and create an opportunity in this real estate space is the blessing, right? And real estate has been a blessing in my life. It brought an immense amount of clarity, purpose, and drive to my world. Real estate has absolutely blessed Tarek's life. It brought an immense amount of resolve, tenacity, and I think probably one of the most beautiful women in the entire space into his world.
So bad.
She ain't so bad. You know what I mean? And so this is an incredible opportunity. Benson, real estate changed your life. The ability to create this massive tool that has truly revolutionized so many people's businesses, that's allowing them to do deals, find opportunity, connect with the right people, be it deals and buyers, and being able to do that in such a you serve, bro, and you do it in such a high level way. It has absolutely changed your life. I know it's changed Emily's life. Her husband, he's out there doing deals in Indianapolis. If any of you guys are doing wholesale in Indiana, you absolutely want to reach out to Emily and she'll connect you with Greg. Guys, real estate has been a game changer for us all. And today we are going to help Ronnie get a deal. So Tarek, I know that you are going to be taking off here in the next little bit here to carry on with the rest of your day.
Yeah, I got about 3-4 minutes.
You got 3 or 4 minutes here. So we're going to get started with the rest of the show. Guys, if any of you are still hanging, I see I don't understand how we can move everybody from the main lobby to this session.
Hey, Jamil, my mom actually just texted me. Hey, Mom, my mom's watching right now, of course. She told me that we need to help the people get in because they need to push to join. And it took her a while before she knew how to do it. So people need to actually push a button to join the webinar.
Okay, so
Yes.
can they hear me right now or no?
Yes, so they're watching in the lobby. So everybody needs to go to day 1 and there's a little blue button that says join session.
Okay.
Do that. We're all in here and the chat is live in here.
Okay, guys, come out of the lobby. Push day 1 to join. Do it now. There's 700 of you guys, and we only have 490 of you in here. We want everybody together. We want everybody together. Dominique, thank you for that. Thank you for letting us all know that. You are incredible. You're also amazing. I miss you. It was so fun hanging out with you in Cabo. Such a cool lady.
It was fun. I'm and then, hey, I want to say one more thing because I got to go in a second here. So.
And the reason for that, it is my belief that anything and everything we want or need in our life will find its way to us through our source, but we've got to ask for it. If this makes you uncomfortable, mute me for the next 30 seconds because I'm going to do it anyways. But if you'd like to join me, here we go. Father God, we love you so much, Lord. Thank you for today. Thank you for opening all our eyes and giving us breath, for giving us the minds to connect and communicate with each other. Lord, we are so grateful for that. God, we pray that you make your purpose for each of our lives abundantly clear to us, so that the steps we take are your steps, the words we speak, your words, the actions we take, your actions. God, we pray that you guide us to those individuals that'll be of benefit to us, either through a financial gain or through a lesson we need to learn. And we ask that you deflect us from those individuals that'll waste our time or bring us harm. Lord, for any of us here today that are in any need of additional understanding of the concepts that we will teach here today, God, we just pray for perfect clarity in everybody's minds. And Lord, for any of us that are in need of any physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual healing, Lord, we pray for perfect healing in our lives. And Lord, it is with humble hearts and in your heavenly name we pray. Amen. Let's get it rocking. Tarek, we love you. Enjoy the rest of your day. You're an amazing guy. Ronnie, we're going to get you a deal today, baby. Benson, are you ready? Emily, are you ready?
All right.
Ready, let's do it.
Hey,
Let's
I
go.
had so much fun, Ronnie. You better get a deal today. You guys have the best time. I had so much fun this morning sharing my story. I hope I motivated some of you, inspired some of you. It's all up here, guys. I'm telling you, you just got to believe. So I got to go film some TV shows right now. But hey, I just opened up a special real estate investing group in Facebook. I would love for you guys to join. A bunch of incredible content. I want to be hopping on once a week for free, teaching, coaching, mentoring, and sharing our stories.
Get that in the chat, guys.
The link's down in the chat. Other than that, I'll see everybody tomorrow.
Guys, everybody, make sure you're clicking on that link. We want everybody to be a part of this. If you want to hang out with more with Tarek, if you want to learn from Tarek, it's just a free Facebook group. Get into that group. Go hang out there. Go be homies with the man. Okay, guys, do not forget that. We love you, bro. You are the man. Go out there and rock it. Rock and roll.
Hey, thank you, everybody. And I hope you guys have a big day. And I'll see you tomorrow.
Later, bro.
Later, buddy.
Bye, Tarek.
See ya. Have fun, Ronnie.
Later, buddy.
All right, Benson. We are going to get to the, they don't see the link. Let's keep posting that link. Let's keep putting that link out there. There we go. Benson, how you doing, baby?
I am amazing. That was so inspirational. It's amazing that the things that we let get in the way of us doing what we need to do in business or in life, all that self-talk, limiting beliefs, we're all guilty of it. And when you hear a story like that, it just really puts it all in perspective. Like if something like that, somebody can power through it and accomplish what he's accomplished, then there isn't any reason why anybody here has a good reason to not do what they need to do. There's no good reason. And so it was just a great reminder. That was really inspirational.
Awesome. We're going to get into the training now, guys. Let's get rocking and rolling. So we are going to focus in today on 3 specific markets. Okay, guys. And the reason we're choosing these markets is both Tarek and I buy in these markets. And so it's possible that Ronnie will find an opportunity in one of these markets and sell the deal to either myself or Tarek. So you've got 2 cash buyers right out the bat that you could sell to, but we're not going to be merciful on you, bro. I ain't going to buy your garbage. Okay. It's got to be a deal. It's got to be a smoke show of a deal. And so, yeah, we are going to be using Privy, guys. Privy is one incredible tool that we will use to find these opportunities. If you don't have a Privy account, go to runprivy.com, runprivy.com. That's www.runprivy.com to sign up because you will need it.
Yeah,
Benson.
we're doing a promo code too. So if you do promo code Ronnie, RONNIE, you will get 20% off your first month.
Oh, hey,
And
that's
so,
dope.
Yeah, we're gonna put Ronnie's name out into the universe today, hoping for all the things coming back to us. So put Ronnie in there and that'll get you going.
Amazing. Guys, there's still 200 of you that haven't joined the day. Why is that? What do I got to do? How do I help these 200 people move their butts from the main lobby to day one? Emily, can you explain again how that works?
Hey, they can't hear us from the main lobby. I made a tutorial video and posted it in the main lobby chat to make it clear as day. Click the blue join button. We've done as much as we possibly can to get everybody to understand that they need to watch from inside here instead of out in the main lobby. We've exhausted all resources.
Okay.
They can't hear us.
So all right. So they can't hear us though, bro?
From the main lobby, from what I understand, they can't hear us. Like, I'm not sure. So,
I even changed my name to click join session.
Hilarious. Okay, we've done what we can. So we're here. Love you, Bobby. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Guys, isn't Bobby just a handsome devil? Look at that guy. Look at that man. All right. So we're gonna go Tampa, Tulsa, and San Bernardino, Riverside County. Okay. These are the specific markets that we're going to be looking for a deal today. Again, guys, it's runprivy.com, promo code Ronnie to get 20% off Privy. Benson, let's pull up one of these markets. Who are we going to be sharing a screen today? Are we going to share Ronnie's screen or are we going to share Benson's?
Benson's.
We're going to share
Let's
mine.
pull it up, bro. Let's start with
All right.
St. Pete.
Cool. Let's
Tampa.
do it. Right on. Well, St. Pete's is actually a great market. I'm glad that you guys like it. But the reason why I like it is because there's lots of investor activity there.
How do you know?
It's also one of the markets we've got direct to MLS data. So all these blue areas on the map, we've got direct to MLS data. Actually, one of the markets we just launched this week is Tulsa, one of the markets that the Tarek is investing in. But we're going to look at this St. Pete area. But the reason why I like it is because of the investor activity. So if we click, this is actually going to show us on the map where the hot areas are at. And then what you can do is you can compare where you want to spend your time. Because a lot of people, what they do is they spend time where they live, which isn't always the best thing to do, because every minute you spend in a market that's not good, you're not spending time in a market that is good. And so, well, how do you decide where to look? Well, you look at where the investor activity is. So what Ronnie's going to look for is a wholesale deal. And anytime you're measuring how good a wholesale deal is, you have to pay attention to what's called after repair value. That's what a house is going to be worth after it's fixed and flipped. If you're in an area like right here in the Mississippi pocket and you're looking for deals in an area where there's no investor activity, you literally can't prove after repair value. So you can't make the numbers work on a wholesale deal. So you don't want to look in areas where you don't see investor activity. But what you want to do is you want to go to where these other areas at. And with our system, you can do this virtually, you guys. You don't have to leave your home. You can seriously sit right behind your computer and do what Ronnie's going to do today, which is just leverage the data, leverage the local investment activity to learn that local market, learn what a deal is, and then educate yourself. Okay, here's what a deal looks like. Here's what buyers are buying at. Here's where buyers are selling at. Here's what percentage of ARV they're actually going to. And so you don't have to have that local market information like people feel like they do by living there, which, by the way, doesn't really help all that much, because it is not real estate information. It's not real estate data. So when you look at the map right here, see St. Pete? Right here, we've got close to 1,300 deals, which would be one of the highest investor activity areas.
So those numbers,
all of Florida.
That tells us, what do these numbers mean? You say 1,300 deals. So what are you saying?
These are 1,300 fix and flips that have closed in the last 12 months based off of all of our data. So we're extracting all the real estate data out there and we're putting together closed successful deals. So this is how we can educate ourselves on what a deal looks like, but also be in an area where we have the ingredients to put together a deal, like the data to prove ARV, buyers who are actually buying properties in this area, right? If you acquire a property in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, well, no one's going to buy it from you because people aren't buying there, right? So what we're doing is we're going to put Ronnie in the best position to put all the ingredients together for a deal. And that's why I like the reason why you're in St. Pete. Look at all this activity here. So if we zoom in a little bit more, these little clusters is what we call them. These are going to break up, and then we're going to see the actual individual properties that comprise these clusters. And then we're going to be able to see what actual investors are doing for success. So right here, look how hot this is. So if you live in California and you're thinking, oh, I can't do deals in St. Petersburg because I don't have buyers there. I don't know what a deal looks like. Well, as we get in close enough here, we can see all these fix and flips. Every one of these is a property that was purchased, fixed up, and sold, and they bought it lower than 75% of the ARV, right? So this is the deal. Now, the closer you get to zero, the better the deal is. And then over here on the left is one of the deals that just closed recently. So Ronnie, this is how you learn what a deal looks like in St. Pete.
Okay,
right?
so we want to get very, very, very basic here, Benson. I want to just get to step one. Okay, step one, guys, you are starting in a new market where pretend St. Pete's your market, but this could be anywhere, any market that we are doing this. Step one is we want to identify where there's a cluster of activity. So what we've seen here is there's a cluster of activity, a lot of investor fix and flips. So now we know that St. Pete is a good market for us to focus our efforts in. Okay, so guys, everybody, we chose the market, right? We're in now. Benson, show us exactly how we can find potential deals in St. Pete that are available on the MLS right now. What are the steps to do that?
So step two is to figure out what a deal is for the buyers in this market, because a buyer to you isn't necessarily a deal to another buyer, right? And it's very location specific.
Okay.
So what I did is I clicked this property over here from the left, and it's going to open up the house in what we call a comparative market analysis. It's just a report that includes information about the property itself, but also the transaction. So what our system does is it automatically goes and it pulls comparables for you, right? So when we're trying to determine the value, we sometimes have to go and analyze what other homes have sold for, right? And that in itself is a challenge. We're not going to get into comping today, but for a lot of people, it's a stopper. They just don't understand how to determine value because they don't know how to pull comps. The system does it for you, okay? So there's all the true comparables. And then we can look at the before and after data on the deal itself. So this is, again, how we figure out what a deal looks like. So this property was purchased from the MLS. Right here, you can see it was an MLS deal. They pulled the photos. A lot of MLSs are doing that right now. So we see the street view. And they bought it for $159,000. They sold it for $365,000. So they bought it at 44% of the ARV. So right now what we're doing is we're educating ourselves on what an actual deal looks like in this market, not some universal formula that somebody pulled out of a book or they learned in a podcast. This is, okay, this is an actual deal. Over here on the right is the after products. You can see what kind of construction they're doing here, what kind of materials they used. This information is amazing to be able to use on the disposition side when you go to market it. We got this information for you because it'll make it easier for you to prove to a buyer what the value is of the property you're trying to sell by showing them other homes that have sold.
So
down below that,
right now we can show, just to get real granular with this, Benson, let's take 3 examples and see what percentage of ARV those properties were bought at.
Perfect. That's exactly what I want to do here. Okay, I want to point out a couple other things here that are important when we're looking at data and figuring out a market is who are the players. So Jack Keller Inc., Jack Keller is an investor-focused agent who operates in this market. So through agent outreach, which is one of the strategies you use, Jamil, oftentimes you want to work with agents that understand the investment side of the business. Jack is one of those agents. So he would be somebody you want to potentially work with. You also want to see, who is involved in these transactions. So down here, we can see the owner. This is the flipper because this thing just closed a couple days ago. Athena Cornerstone LLC is the flipper on this property. So now we're figuring out, okay, Athena's a player. They just closed a deal. They're likely looking for another one, right? They just closed one. This is also somebody you're going to want on your buyer's list. So we're thinking about several steps down the line here. We're not just taking action and chasing shiny objects. We're beginning with the end in mind. Can I disposition a property that I find in St. Pete? We know it's a hot area. We know there's buyers here, and we know who one of the buyers are. Athena is one of the players. Let's look at another one. And I'm just starting at the top, you guys. So these are organized by close date. If I come down here onto the before and after on this one, this is another on-market deal. So they bought this in from the MLS.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's an MLS deal, we actually see the photos. This is what it looked like before they renovated it.
Okay.
They bought it at 69% of the ARV, Jamil.
Okay. Now that was in pretty decent condition, so they were able to pay a little bit more.
Exactly. If it was a full gut, I mean, there's a tree growing through the middle of it.
Yep.
This number wouldn't have worked, right?
Let's look at the photos of what the renovation looked like. Let's see, what did they do here?
So they put all new flooring.
They did a pretty extensive job. Did they change the kitchen cabinets? You can see that.
Mm-hmm.
New cabinets, new counters.
All new appliances.
All new appliances. So
this is still kind of a middle of the road flip, right? They didn't go overboard on this. They still were able to kind of keep their costs in control.
Right. When was this done? When was this bought and when was this sold?
It was purchased March this year, March 31st.
Recording in progress.
And it sold 9/18. Okay.
Hold on one second. Emily, did we just start recording right now or has it been recording?
We just started.
Okay. Awesome.
So this sold 9/18, so a couple days ago, right? So this is a 6-month-long project from when they bought it to when they sold it. Now, not 6 months under construction, but right here you can see, actually, 6 months, 171 days total. Again, you can see who the agent is. The flipper on this one is Paul Francis Development Group, LLC. This is a high value buyer for me as a wholesaler because we know that Paul Francis is willing to go to a higher percentage of ARV.
Well,
than the last guy.
I'm not going to say that, Benson, because we have to be very, very careful about the timing of what this deal is, guys. This guy bought this deal in March and everybody was overpaying in March. He is not paying 69% of ARV today. I can guarantee you that. Absolutely. There's no way he's paying 69% of ARV today. So I need to be very clear, guys. Okay. I'm 1,000,000%. When it comes to the current market state and where things are, I'm going to interject anytime I think that there's something that we need to be very mindful of. He is not somebody that's paying 69%. He paid 69% in March, but this guy is a buyer. Okay.
Buyer.
Can we see something that has closed today in cash? Because that's what I'm interested in more. What are the most recent?
These are them.
So I'm not talking flip. I mean like buying a crap property.
Oh, we can see all the solds, right? So if we were just to search this area, filter, and we don't look at flips, we just look for sold properties.
Yep. Sold
And
in
then-
cash.
Yep.
And I'm
Cash
talking,
buyer.
I only want to see August, September.
Well, we can do, and we'll sort by sold date here.
Let's just go last month then. Awesome. Now
All
let's
right.
see what percentage of ARV they're paying.
Well, we won't know the actual percentage of ARV, but we'll know what they bought it at. But we can estimate the ARV by looking at what some of the sold comparables are at. But
Okay.
they bought this property at 285. We don't know what they sold it for because it hasn't sold after the reno yet.
Does
But if
it
we
give
look
us
at
an
the-
estimated ARV here?
Yeah, the estimated ARV would be based off of the homes that flipped, right? So right here, this one flipped and sold for 335. This one flipped and sold for 410. So, you know, the best ARV for this area is 410. So that's at 70% they bought this property at.
Okay, I can guarantee you that's not what I know from deals that we're selling right now at Keegley, because we wholesale a tremendous amount of deals over there. Buyers are buying between 60 and 65%.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly where they are at right now. So how would I be able to determine that using Privy? How could I find what the current buyers are paying a percentage of ARV wise?
This is what we're doing right now.
Okay.
We're showing the deals that people are buying that haven't been flipped yet.
Okay.
And then we can see what percentage of ARV they're buying at based off of the renovated homes in the area. Now, we might be looking at a house that someone's not going to flip, right? We don't know
Right.
that they're going to flip
That's
it,
the thing.
right?
Is
But we
there a
know
way
they
for
pay
us to filter
cash.
that? Can we filter that piece out?
No, there's no way to filter it out, but we're going as far as we can based off the data.
Got
We're
it.
looking at properties that were purchased with cash. So these are likely not homeowners, right? We don't know for a fact. We know that it was a cash purchase, and we know that this is a fairly low purchase price.
Mhm.
This one right here says investors, right? So, okay, so they positioned it as it would be a good property for an investor
Right.
because of the way they described it. And in this house, if we look at, you know, houses that were flipped in the area, here's some of the percentages. So probably the highest flip in the area, right, is right here, 347. So they bought it at 66% of the ARV.
Okay. Got it.
So-
So some of these were bought fairly high.
This one was just purchased. So
Wow.
this is interesting, right? Like this is what the data is telling us.
Wow.
Now,
So
there's a
let's
chance
see-
someone's
let's
going to
see
move right
what some
into
of
it,
these
but they probably
LLCs
would
are.
have used an FHA loan, not cash.
Yeah,
to
some of
purchase
these higher purchases, like that the 70 and the 80%. Let's see what those LLCs are.
So we scroll down here. So they bought this, when they flipped this house, they bought it at 64%. So this is the White AQU LLC. White ACQ LLC.
Okay. So White Acquisitions LLC. Got it.
Mhm.
That was the end buyer of the flipped property.
No, this is the end buyer of this flipped property.
Okay.
They sold it in June, right? So this is
Who was the, okay, got it.
Yep, and they sold it to Ben and Joseph. So Joseph is the person that's living in this house currently.
Understood.
So
Understood.
I like your angle on this, Jamil, because this is not typically how I look at it. I don't typically go and look at, you know, the properties that people are buying that we think are going to be flipped. I typically just looked at the ones that were flipped. And now we're getting some real good insight into like the percentages here, because they bought this one at 64%.
Right.
But the company that bought this house bought it at best case scenario, 67% of the ARV. So
64
local
to
market
67 is
intelligence.
where you're seeing the buyers buying at.
yep.
Okay, so guys, so now step 2 was determine what percentage of ARV the buyers are buying at in these markets. Okay, So we have now determined it's between 64 and 67%, which actually lines up exactly with what we're finding at Keighley, right? Because we do a high volume of transactions over there. So we have our percentages of ARV where buyers are buying. 64 to 67 makes sense. So we know that we need to pick something up below 64% of ARV in order for us to make money. Okay. So step 3, guys, identify potential deals that are at about 60% of ARV. So Benson, can we set Privy up to show us what's on the market right now that's at around 60% of ARV?
Absolutely. So the next step here, you guys, is I'm going to take one step back, and I'm going to go back to where we were before, where we were showing the flips on the map. The reason why I went step backward is because by clicking this fix and flip button, it's going to show us where the flips are, but this actually triggers this big green button that you can't miss, which is called Find Similar Active Deals. We've made this process extremely simple for you guys. You see, we've already gotten to the point where we know what buyers are buying at, and we know who they are. We also know who the agents are. And the next step here is to find active deals we can buy. Now, before we do that, I just want to make sure that people know that if you wanted to do off-market marketing, this is where you're going to market. And you can pull those same kinds of lists from Privy as well. So if you wanted to look for vacants or foreclosures or absentee owners, you can pull those lists from Privy up to 10,000 per month for free with your Privy account. This is where you're going to target. That way, if you do get a motivated seller who wants to do some business with you, you've got the data to prove to them what the deal's worth, and you can get you can offer more because you've got higher values in this neighborhood that are based off of renovated homes. Right? That's how you connect all the dots here. What I'm going to do now is click this one button that says Find Similar Active Deals. And basically what it does, you guys, and this, we've got a patent pending on this, is it takes all these successful closed deals and it uses those as a model for what a successful deal looks like. And then we reverse engineer it. So I'm going to click this one button. Our system's going in, it's pulling comps on every single property in this area. And then I'm going to adjust the percentage of ARV down, because in that button, we have it set to 75%. So let's lower this to say 60%.
Yep.
All right. And then price ceiling. A lot of those properties I saw, they were buying them for $300,000 or less. So let's just put a price ceiling in here. And let's also assume that maybe you talked to one of those buyers. Let's say you called that acquisition company and you talked to them and said, hey, listen, I saw you bought that property over on Main Street, and you bought it for about 67% of the ARV. Is that kind of where you need to be for the numbers to work? Tell me more about your buying criteria. And they're going to tell you, okay, here's what we'll buy up to. Here's the areas we want to buy. Here's the percentage of ARV, bedrooms, bathrooms. And then you can create searches that are very unique to who your buyers are and what they want. So you don't have to be doing all that manually. So let's just pretend we talked with them and they gave us more intel. But the cool thing is we didn't go into that conversation blind. We already had a sense of what they're willing to do based off of that transaction we just saw. But now we're taking it a step further and building on top of that by having a conversation with them. So let's go ahead and run this search. And then I'm just going to do something that came on the market recently. And you guys, there's not a whole lot of filters here, right? We make it very simple for you to go in and do this quickly and also in an automated fashion, because after we've done this kind of initial research, it's really kind of hands off. You don't have to do this, be in there a lot. Like this house, maybe they had done something to it, but you can tell this isn't a flip. They got mismatched appliances and it's just kind of blah. But let's scroll down here. And you guys, we didn't cherry pick any of these deals. Like if there's something here that looks good, we're going to look at it closer, but there's a chance we won't find any deals today. And that's okay, because we're dealing with what the market presents us.
Yep.
So this house is 249 grand. The reason why we flagged this property as a potential deal is because of these two comps right here. Now this one is an active comp. It hasn't sold yet. It was flipped though. It's been on the market for 6 days.
We can always negotiate too. So why don't we pull the filter up to 70%? Okay. And then we can we can write down the address. And then tomorrow when Ronnie's calling these agents, we can actually negotiate it down. Right. So let's move that filter up so that we're not limiting ourselves to opportunities.
Let's try 67 first, because we figured out that's where our ceiling was. Because even if we can find it for 1% less, And, that's a $200,000 house, right? That's a few $1,000 assignment fee for using Privy, and it's doing all the work, right? So let's be realistic about how much time we're putting.
Ronnie, is this all landing for you right now? Let me hear from you, because you're going to represent the thought process of everybody who has just getting started. Where are you right now finding confusion?
To be quite honest with you, I'm ready to just call people. I'm not really confused at all. This program, I ended up getting Privy probably about 3 weeks ago. I had been utilizing another program, but this program is pretty rad. So I'm following along pretty well. I took a class with Benson for about an hour the other day, so that was great. But I'm following along so far, so good. I'm just excited to make phone calls.
Okay, cool. So Ronnie,
Awesome.
right now, what we want to be doing is making a list. So guys, here, one of the steps that you're going to do is you got to compile a list of prospects, right? So Ronnie, you need to be compiling a list of prospects right now, because these are the folks that these are the properties that we're going to be comping. We're going to determine what price you need to be putting these deals under contract at. And then tomorrow you're going to be calling these agents. All right. So what's the first house that we can put on this list of prospects?
I think it's this one. I think this one looks ripe for the picking. It's 250,000. This little badge right here, you guys, if you're wondering what this is what's called Privy Preferred.
Okay.
When we reverse engineered the process and we put ourselves in the middle of this area, the hopes was that we would actually be able to use the flipped properties in this area to prove the value for our house. What this tells us is that is the case. So we've got the margins where we know it's going to be lower than 67%. Look at the house. I mean, linoleum, Formica, like this thing is nasty. A mess.
Benson, can you comp this for us right now?
Yes, absolutely. So we scroll down.
Let's look at the comps.
It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And here's the comparables, right? So everything on the map here is a comp. Right, similar bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, stories. It's all within a half a mile.
Where did you go to in the program to see the comps, just so that we can be very specific for the people following along?
So we start here at the top and we just scroll down. Now there are different anchors here that you can click that will take you to different sections of this report, but you can scroll down, or you can click the button here that says comparables and it takes you right to it.
Okay.
This has already been pre-comped out. So what it does is it gets rid of all the houses that aren't comps. Too big, too small, too far away. We're not going to compare a row home or a townhome to a single family detached. That all happens behind the scenes for you automatically. Then what we do is we compare the ask price of the house to the price of the comps. And knowing that we said that we needed a house to be at 67% of the ARV, we do the math for you. So you don't have to figure out which comps make sense. We isolate them for you. We color them blue. So all of these blue comps right here are telling us that this house has a percentage, has an ARV higher than what we need for it to be at 67%. So I don't want to get too deep in the weeds on the math, but this is what the algorithm is doing for you. So we're basically saying, what price do we need comps over for this house that's lit at 250 to be lower than 67%? And it's 373.
So about 375 is the ARV here, is what you're saying?
No, that's where we would need the comps to be over for it to be lower than 67%. So here's all the comps that are over 375. Okay.
Okay.
The closest comparable that was flipped just sold for 400,000. This one just sold.
How big was that?
118. I'm sorry.
We have a 32828. Okay. So
yep. This is a 32939.
How far away is it?
It's 0.3 miles away.
Perfect. And that was 400K.
400K.
Okay. Do we have anything in the 800s?
In the
800 square footage range.
Oh yeah. Everything here is within 15%. So this one is sold for 418. It's sold for 864. It's only a 2-1. Ours has an extra bedroom and an extra bathroom.
Awesome. I think that, it's a little bit larger than ours. And we have an additional bed and bath. So I'm going to call that a wash. So I'm saying right now, we're probably at about a 415 ARV. Is there any other better examples?
You're getting a little further away here. So this is a half a mile away. It's within that gray box.
Yep. I'm not interested in that far away.
Okay. So I think 415 based off of these comps right here.
Now,
is
before we move on, okay, when was that house sold?
This one sold June.
Okay, let's pull it up. I want to see if it went over MLS price because we need to remove the emotional equity out of that ARV.
Okay.
Guys, what do I mean by emotional equity? So we saw a huge run up March, April, May, June, where people were buying homes way above ARV, way above what properties were actually valued at because the market was overheated. Okay. And so when a house was listed at say 400 and then it sold at 430, that 30,000 isn't real value. So we have to remove that from our ARV. I am trying to give us an understanding of where the market is today, right? We have to be very careful to make sure that we are in today's numbers. So what was this property listed at and what did it sell for?
It was originally listed for 475.
Okay.
They bought it at 418.
Wow. Okay. So this is probably around where the market starts turning a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 418, I think that's a fair number. Let's call it 420.
Yep.
Okay. I love it. And let's get one more example for value and then we can call it for an ARV.
So this right here on Tangerine.
Okay.
We're scrolling down here to the property history section. Okay, so public record, property history. Looks like this was originally listed for 449. 449 was the original list price, and it finally sold at 400.
And what month did it sell in?
July.
July. Got it. So guys, you can see this is where the market starts cooling off. This is where we've got price depression. So I feel like this is a fair ARV, and that actually brings us down a little bit. It brings us to 400. Okay.
Yeah, the other one was 450 or 418. This one's at 400.
Right. So I would want to say we got to be on the more conservative side of this going into our mathematics, right? So if 400 is the ARV and we know we need to be buying at about, what would you say, around 60%?
Well, here's the numbers, right? So remember we said we wanted to be between 64 and 67%.
To sell to our buyers, not to buy it at.
Right. So this at asking price is at 63% if we base it off of 400,000.
Awesome.
Right. So that leaves some room there to obviously go and make that. And it all depends on what we eventually dispo it, right?
Yep.
So,
well, knowing how the wholesale world works, right? How long has this property been listed for?
Just a couple days. Let me see here. 1 day.
1 day on market. So it's a fresh deal. So we could probably sell it close to MLS list price. If it was on the market, say 30, 60, 90 days, you would not be wanting to lock this up at or near list price, guys. That's not going to work. You will never dispo that deal to a buyer. But because it's a fresh deal, okay, you still have an opportunity to sell it close to MLS list price. So Ronnie, I want you to write this address down. Okay, and let's get the agent's information.
So right down here, this is listed by Fabrice Baralt of Street Smart Realty. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to highlight it, and I'm going to just do a quick Google search. We're actually adding in, Jamil, I'll just tell everybody right now, a new agent feature that will allow you to find agents' contact information, the best performing agents in any market within the next 2 months, a complete search in the Privy system. It is going to be amazing.
Awesome.
All right, so here's the phone number for Fabrice. 727
Yep.
331 2145.
Awesome.
Okay.
Got it, Ronnie?
Sorry, Emily, what are you saying?
I'm seeing a lot in the chat about our year build being older or newer than our comp.
Oh, that's a great point. Benson, we have to have We need to be within 5 or 10 years of construction in order for it to be a comp. And I'm not seeing where I'm sorry, guys, I don't have my glasses on, so I'm not seeing where I'm missing that.
Yeah, this is 66 in 1980.
When's our build?
53.
So which one was in 1980?
The one at 400,000.
Okay.
The one at 418 sold is at 1966, and that one has the fewer bedrooms and baths as well.
Got it. So guys, we're still okay. But that was a great point to bring up. I would actually take off the Tangerine comp altogether. I don't think that that's valid for us. So we're gonna stick to the 52nd Street comp, and we're still gonna stay at a 400 ARV though. Okay.
Yeah, it still puts us at 63%. Now, in this case, Jamil, do you think? Well, I guess we talk to the agent and figure out what kind of activity there is on this property. But this is a great first one. And you guys, you saw how long, I mean, we spent a lot of time explaining through this process how to find it and describing what we're looking at, but we literally found it in like less than a minute.
Awesome. Let's look for another opportunity.
All right. So this one here jumps out to me because it's again, it's a privy preferred. It's got that blue tag. You look at the house, it looks like it obviously needs some work. It probably needs a new roof.
Chocolatey.
Chocolatey. That's one way to describe it. You know, little tiny kitchen, you know, it looks, I mean, it's actually bigger than the other house. 1,174 square feet, 4-bedroom, 2-bath. Let's look at the comparables.
Hey, Ronnie, would you say that this is a fire hazard?
Sorry, I'm trying to mute myself. Yeah, that's a hoarder house for sure. It needs to be cleaned out.
Oh yeah, they're punching holes in the walls.
Yeah, imagine that, right? So, okay, so
I'd be mad if I lived in this house.
Let's try to determine what the ARV is of this.
All right, let's jump into the comparables. So right away, I get a little excited when I see this, you guys, because I see all this blue, all this supporting data that says it's a deal in kind of like a nice little grouping, right? They're really close. There's a lot of them. We've got 24 properties here, right here in Investor that says this thing is a deal. Now, again, we're going to, sort through it to figure out.
We're built in 1925, so I need to find something that's older construction. Is there anything here that's older construction that we can look at right away?
Yeah, this one here at 1922. This is one of the oldest houses in the neighborhood.
Okay, that's very important for us to pay attention to. So let's look at that one that sold. That was a 1922 build.
So that one sold for $290. Okay. Now, I don't see before data on this, which means that I don't know if it was a flip, but we're going to open it up by clicking this little information icon here. And then here's the house. So it looks like it's updated.
Updated, right. Yep. So I'm going to say that we can start this is going to be one of our comps. Okay. So it's not masterfully updated, but we're at a baseline ARV now of 290. Benson, is there anything else here that is within 10 years of construction of our property?
Yeah, we started to get a little further away. This one's 1923. It sold for $315.
Okay, let's look at that. Gross. Keep going. Next one.
Gross. Yeah, we have those two that are within, kind of like 10 years. Everything else is like 1940s and newer.
Awesome. So we don't want to use those. We want to stick to the build generation of our because this is what buyers are going to do, guys. We can't create a fake story here. The story is what the story is. So what's the other 1920s construction that we've got?
So this one sold for $290. Well, let me ask you a question, Jamil. What if this one in 1922 didn't exist? Would this be a project you would just pass over?
I think that you have a harder time selling this to a buyer because they're gonna disagree with your comps. Here's why. Appraisers aren't going to go to a 1940 build and without massive adjustments. So they're probably going to take off about 25% of the ARV, and that's going to be an arbitrary adjustment. So I would way prefer to be focusing on projects where I've got like comparables, where when I'm showing my buyer the story of what this property is worth, I don't have to ask them to do mental gymnastics to find my ARV and come to terms with me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And this is from the point of view of a wholesaler, guys. This is massively important for us to know, because you guys sometimes are locking up deals out there and it's a 1925 construction and you're using a comp that's a 1950 construction comp, and you're sending this deal off to your buyer and your buyer's not pulling the trigger, and you're wondering what I do wrong. Well, what you did wrong is you didn't have an accurate story. So I only want to use the sales within 1920, 1930s or 1930 build here.
No.
No?
It was either 1920s and then it jumps to 40s.
Got it.
At least based off of what we see here, which are the true comparables. Now, we're keeping everything within 15%. There's a chance we got other properties that are in this same area that are maybe a little bit outside of like our square foot tolerance, right? Maybe it's something that built in 1920 and 30 that's maybe 20% larger.
Okay, let's check that.
So the way you can look at that is by clicking all activity right here. And as you can see here, now we just put a bunch of new data on the map.
Okay.
So now we're not eliminating houses based off of, a square footage or, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Now what we can do is we can come into the sold area here, and I'm going to sort by square feet. So I'm going to come down here and let me just check something here. Let's say we went up to 20%. So 1174. I'm going to see where my tolerance is, you guys, going up to 20% instead of 15 times 1.2. Now it's saying I can go up to about 1,400 square feet instead of what we were at before, which was about 13. So I'm just going to scroll down here and I'm going to look at what I got. And let's see here, 293. So this one's just slightly outside. It sold for 480,000.
I don't buy it. This is not a true comp to me.
Just too
no
big.
Way. Pull it up. Yeah, let's pull it up. How far away? How many major roads that we had to cross to get to this?
It's 0.4 miles away.
Okay.
If
Can we see a map?
The map here.
Where's our subject?
Let's see. Oh, here's the subject.
Okay. And where's the comp?
It's right there. So
can we see it in relation to the subject, please? Can we go back to that map and see it in relation to the subject?
Yeah, let me just find it real quick. Oh, right here. Here we go. So from here to here. So, it's right in there. We're not crossing over. I mean, whether maybe 18th is a major road, it doesn't look like it is, but it's within a reasonable distance.
I like that. Let's see what it was listed for and let's see what it sold at.
It's got, more aesthetic appeal. It's got more curb appeal,
I agree.
With the porch and stuff.
It's a nice looking, this looks like they did a good job in the project.
All right, so let's look at the property history here. So they got it $9,000 cheaper.
Okay.
Than what it was listed for.
February, March. So they actually, they did negotiate on that. So that's, this is a time where I'm going to say you still have to make an adjustment of about 10% off of that. So guys, pay attention to what I'm saying right now. Okay. We have to make adjustments for the current market conditions, and this is how we're going to do it. Let's first look at, this is larger than our property by how many square feet? What's the size of this guy?
It's 1424.
Okay, well, how much did it sell for?
480.
480,000. divided by 1424. Okay, that gives us $337 a square foot. This is a little bit of a stretch for the math guys, but we're gonna see, we're gonna make the adjustments. $337 a foot times 1174 takes us to 395. Okay, now we're gonna adjust for the market, right? The market is down about 10%. So take 40 grand off that.
356.
Okay, so guys, do you see what I just did? We now say that we've got an ARV between 290 and 356. So for me, I want to take an average of that. All right, so no, you will not have access to this recording, so stay here. don't leave, because we're not, these aren't going to be put on my YouTube channel. We've got a whole, we will let you know how these will be disseminated later on, but they're not just going to be freely put up on my YouTube channel. So if you're planning on leaving, I'm sorry. Okay, so we are at, let's take the 350. Yeah, the 350 and the 290.
323.
323. All right. This house is listed at 190.
So 190 divided by 323
is about 58%.
58%.
Beautiful. Ronnie, write this address down.
Got it.
You want to be going in at around 180 on this guy.
So let's look up Scott Fader. He's the agent.
Ronnie, did you have a question?
Here's the phone number, Ronnie. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I got all kinds of things. Hold on one second. So let me get the number down first. Well, let me get the property down. Okay. And then where's the phone number? I'm sorry. Joseph, there we go.
Yeah, 248-294-7850.
Okay, perfect. Hey, Jamil, I got a question for you, sir. So you have so some of these, the ARV compression, right, is what we're talking about, right?
Yep.
Okay, so if we have a listed price at, let's say, 480, and then it actually sells for 420. So this was a previous property we were looking at off of Tangerine, I believe. So it went down from 480 to 420. So that went down approximately 12.5%. So are we able to grab those numbers on those properties in that area, get an average, and that gives you your average compression, your ARV compression?
No, so what we're seeing right now, the way that you would do ARV compression is you would say what sold in March and what sold in August. Okay. And because we don't have that data right now, specifically in this, what we got to do is we have to make an adjustment. And what we know is right now in the Florida market, we are adjusting approximately 10%.
Copy.
Okay. So if we've got an ARV, or we saw a sale in March at about 390, we need to take 10% off of that in order for us to determine what our ARV compression is. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. I'm hoping you guys are all understanding. I'm seeing questions in the chat. People are asking me, Jamil, how did you come up with the 180 number? This is why I came up with the 180 number. It's listed at 190. It's 1 day on market. If you plan to put this under contract and sell it to somebody, okay, you can't go lock that, even though it's a good price right now, you can't go lock that up at 190 and sell it at 199 and expect buyers are going to want to pay you 10K over MLS list price. Very rarely, especially in this market, is anybody going to pay you above MLS list price. It ain't going to happen. And what I don't want to see happen, guys, is you out there canceling contracts. I want to see you making more deals happen than just going and locking shit up because we want to pat ourselves on the back for locking up a deal. I don't care about you locking up a deal. I care about you getting money. So we are going to go into this deal, even try to below 180. In fact, Ronnie, I think tomorrow what you should be doing is having a conversation with this agent and seeing how low below MLS list price you can get it at. Okay, so this is deal number 2. Let's do one more, Benson.
Cool. I'm just going down the list, right? So here's the next one. It's 180.
I like that.
It's also privy preferred.
Okay.
Here's the pictures. They're high res, not. They didn't spend a lot of money on taking these pics because it's in a POS. But that's what we're dealing with, right? This is how we add value. This is how we create deals, is by looking at homes that need work. Now this one is not going to work. So check this out. The property that's saying this thing is a deal is all the way up here in the corner. So it's the furthest possible point where it could be considered a comparable. And it's in this weird little area. Look at this little niche where this house is. Like, you would not want to own a house right in here. There's this open space. It's in between two big highways. Probably not a deal we want to go much further with.
Guys, I'm seeing questions about, what about your fee? What about closing costs? Guys, we're talking about wholesale. Okay, when you lock up a property at 180 and you sell it for 185, your profit is 5,000 because we're doing an assignment. Okay, so that's how these work. We assign the contract, and so we just get the difference between contract price and what we sell it at. All right, you're not arbitrarily. Somebody said, if you lock it up at 170, isn't it 190 after you add your fee and closing costs? No, it's not. How are you getting that? What's your assignment fee? You get to decide what the assignment fee is, and your buyer pays the closing costs. Does that make sense? Is that making sense? Cool.
Yep.
There's a lot of chat in here that, hey, these guys, these might be under contract by tomorrow. I think, Ronnie, that's a possibility.
It is, yeah.
Are you feeling good to maybe make some calls today?
Let's do it. Yeah.
I think we should. I think we should hop on the call. Let's get one more possible prospect.
That's what
for
I'm
you,
talking
Ronnie.
about. Make
So
the call.
Jamil, this will actually be fun because I've been doing just days on market greater than 30, 35. So I've been able to like talk to the agents and kind of get into them a little bit quicker in terms of having open communication. With this, it's going to be a little bit harder, I feel, because I'm asking them to drop a price a little bit, right? I mean,
yeah, but you know what? There's no buyers out there right now. There's fewer of them than normal, right? So the agents are open to having conversations because they understand.
Yes, sir.
Also, you're a handsome fireman, and I need them to understand that on the other side. You gotta let that charm out, dog.
Yeah, you
have
gotta
to
FaceTime
FaceTime
so you
them.
can use your face. Yeah.
You gotta spit that fire. You know, you gotta
So
hose them.
Here's another one that looks good, you guys. So this is 947 23rd Street, or 23rd Avenue South. Apologize. Needs some work. You know, lots of stuff going on here, right? And then look at the comps. You know, good amount of blue. These two right here, two closest comparables. This one went for 285. It's built in 1950. It's only 3 years newer. This one went 1951. So that's 2 or 4 years newer, and 287. So the 285 and 287 puts this thing at 63%. And then you get even a little further away. Now you get 299.
Okay. So, and what's the differential between these? They're all about the same?
How do you mean? Distance
Like
wise?
size wise?
Size wise, they're all about the same. Yeah, this one at 299 is 1,020. It's smaller than the subject.
Awesome.
Now,
So
it's older though. So how do you view older properties that are comps?
how much older is it?
1947 to 25. So 23 years. 22
here's
years.
where it can get a little bit, it's a newer property is always better than an older property, right? So that's good because we know we have greater technology in the construction. The only time it becomes an issue is in a historic district. So like a 1920s house in a historic district could have an inherent higher value than a 1940s house in a non-historic district. So that's where it gets a little tricky.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
So
well, this one's looking solid then. You know, we got a 299. It's smaller than the subject property. It does have one additional bedroom, so we might have to make an adjustment for that.
we've got to take 10K off of that.
Okay.
And the year builds are pretty similar.
Yeah, that's when it was 1925 versus 1947.
Okay.
So
Do we
that's
have any
older.
in the 1940s that have sold?
Oh, we do. We actually have one that's 50s, but it's within 4 years.
Okay. Okay.
287.
That's the comp I want to use.
And it's smaller too. And it's got one less bedroom.
Great. That's the guy. See, guys, I'm eliminating based off of, I don't want to compare an apple to a grape. It's apple to apple. Okay. So we got a 47 build and a 40 and a 50 what build?
51.
51 and a 49.
Well, this one's in 49. That one sold for 320. It's only a 2.2 and it's 1,058 square feet.
Let's see how far away that one is from our subject.
0.52.
Can you see it on the map?
Right here.
So I don't like that I don't love that we crossed 22nd, but I don't think that that's a major road. I think that is. And let's see the other one, the one that was 51 build. How close is that?
Right here.
So it's still on the other side of MLK. We can't use it. It's not viable. I would say the other one is more viable than the other one than this one here, because MLK that's a major road. That's a major problem. So this one in the corner is that's going to be our comp. What's that look like? Can you zoom in a little bit closer? I'm going to get my glasses, guys. Hold on.
Vincent, is that 2930 Valencia Way? Sorry, I'm trying to follow along. The comp he's pulling, wanting you to pull up?
Yeah, it was Valencia. Yeah. So I'm looking at MLK just to kind of get a sense of the traffic. So it's 2 lanes on both sides. So, I agree. That's probably too busy of a street. And so the way I did that was just click the satellite view on here, you guys, and I zoomed in. That's another little trick of the trade there to kind of get a sense of how busy a road is and whether or not you should cross it. Normally, you're going to use like yellow roads versus white. But also, you can use the thickness. So this is a thicker road, and MLK in
oh my
most
gosh.
markets.
All right, guys, it's a world debut.
There we go.
What a nerd.
So handsome.
You instantly look smarter, Jamil.
Oh my gosh. I feel like such a nerd. Okay.
So based off of that,
yep.
Right. We had that one that was 320.
Yep.
So, conservatively, 300.
Okay, 300 ARV. So we know we need to be at about 64%, right?
Yeah. So if we go to 300 and if we add asking price, we'll get it a little bit lower, we say. But if we just calculate it based off of what it's listed for.
Yep. That's a deal.
That's 60%.
That's it. So, Ronnie, write this address down.
Yes, sir. And
let's get the agent's information.
It's also Fabrice Baralt, our first agent that we had on the list for that other listing. Fabrice is active. We just found 2 of his listings. So he's the one you want to call first, likely, Ronnie.
For sure.
All right. Can you
Fabrice is a player.
Can you pop him up his number again, please? I've got Joseph from the other one. I'm using this tablet. This thing's a great thing to use, but what happens is if you put your hand on there, it erases. So paper and pen is probably always the best. Okay.
Here we go. 727.
Okay.
331 2145.
2145.
If you need to sign up for Privy, guys, it's runprivy.com. runprivy.com, and Ronnie is the promo code for 20% off.
So Jamil, we're going through this and it's seeming pretty painless, right? And for people who don't know how hard it is to find a deal, like how is this process compared to like what you're used to before using a tool like Privy? Like, is this easy?
Look,
is this?
I'm gonna be 1000% real with you guys. Okay. In a market like today, you go and you buy a list. Say you go buy a list of whatever. You go and foreclosures. Okay. You buy a list, or you go buy a list of an equity list, like 60% of ARV. Okay. You get 5 or 10,000 records. You skip trace those at 15 cents a record. So your cost right now is thousands of dollars. Okay. Thousands of dollars. And it is, there are fewer buyers out there today than there were 6 months ago. So that investment of a few $1,000s may not return. I'm telling you guys, it is brain damage. You're not only risking a tremendous amount of money going that direction, okay, but you're going to have to cold call all those homeowners. You're going to have to talk to all those people. You're going to have to get hung up on. You're going to have to get told to go bend in terrible ways with your body and do all kinds of terrible things to yourself. People are not going to want to hear from you. Do you understand how many spam likely calls I get? How many text messages I get from people every single day trying to buy a house? It is the most inundated, most ridiculous way of going out and trying to get a deal under contract. Absolutely a waste of time, in my opinion. Absolutely a waste of time. This is the fastest, easiest way to get something under contract. Benson, I want to add one more thing before we send Ronnie to the phones. Let's find a deal that's been under contract, or let's find something that's been on the market for 60 days or longer.
Okay. So what we do is we just adjust the filter, right? So down here in the filter section, we've got a days on market. So we're going to put 60 on the bottom side here, which means anything that's listed between 1 and 59 days won't show up in the results.
And for all of you asking about how will we get access, so only people who have privy are going to be emailed how you're going to get access to this recording. We're going to be putting it in a special section of my YouTube. Not everybody is going to have access to this. Okay. I'm sorry, but when I just give these out for free on my YouTube, you know what ends up happening? Y'all leave. You don't take action. You don't do the thing that you're supposed to do, and then you just show up willy-nilly onto my YouTube. You watch 5 minutes of it. I'm sorry, but this is only for action takers. So if you want this recording, if you already have privy, no problem. If you bought privy from Pace's challenge or you bought privy from my last challenge, all good. Okay, but if you want this, if you want to get the recording, you A, have to have signed up for privy, and B, we will email you where on my YouTube you'll be able to find it. Okay.
All right. So we're looking at a handful of properties here. I just did a filter, and you know, we see some deals here. Look at this one. This one's trashed. It's 240,000.
Like I said, any of you that already had it from a previous challenge, either Pace's Elephant Challenge or my previous Secret Agent Challenge or Secret Weapon Challenge, you're already grandfathered in. You don't have to worry about it. You will receive it.
Yep. So I'm just looking for something here that is privy preferred as well. So this one is 276,000, listed for 76 days. It's a 32,080 square feet. And so it's seasoned a bit.
Okay. Let's see what it's what are the comps on this baby?
Well, if we're at 67% or lower, we've only got this one comp here that supports that.
Only one.
At
Let's look at that
67%
comp.
or lower. Oh, it's not even close. I mean, that's a California contemporary or modern, mid-modern century house.
Yeah, not
a comp.
Not a comp. And it crosses that major road there. So I'm not loving that.
Well, let's do something here. Let's look at the solds, and let's see if we sort by distance here, if there's anything that is even getting close to this, making this thing a deal. I'm looking at the percentages here as I'm getting a little further away and seeing if there's something that is around, 68%, 70%, and then we can adjust the price lower, but there isn't anything that's even close. That's
Well,
the
let's
only
just see
one.
what
That's an
what is
outlier.
the ARV here. Let's just see what would what would this be?
Well, that's what I was looking at here. So, you know,
Let's not
based
go
off
for
of
the
these
high comp.
closest
Let's go
ones,
for something remodeled nearby.
right
It
in
might
here.
it might be at 300. Then at least we can have that conversation with the agent.
Yeah, like this one that's renovated, that's literally right down the way, that was flipped, sold for 294.
Okay, so Ronnie, here's the thing with this. We don't want to fool ourselves. Yet also, if you guys are in astro flipping, you will have access to these recordings. Absolutely. This one was listed at 276. The ARV on this is what, 290?
Yeah, 294. This one is a little further away.
Okay.
But it sold for oh, that one's 2005. You can't use that one either. Yeah, 300 max.
Okay. So Ronnie, this is the conversation with this agent. Write this address down.
Got it.
Okay. 300 is the ARV. If 300 is the ARV, we need to be at about 64%. This needs to be bought at 190. Okay. They've listed at 276. Ronnie, your conversation is to talk to this agent. Let's find out their name and number. It's Keith Schwabinger.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get his phone number. And you're going to say, Keith, your seller. They got you overlisted on this, baby. How long until you think your seller is going to come to terms with the fact that they're overpriced? Are they ready? Are they ready for a real number yet? Because I'd love to buy this house. Because I see that the house is in original condition. It needs work. But you're listed at very close to what this house is worth if it's been fixed up. So I want to know from you when you think your seller's ready, is actually going to be ready with motivation to buy or to sell. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a number for him?
Yeah, there's two here. 727-914-7877. There's another one that says it's his mobile, but we'll try both. 917-734-9783.
Perfect.
Ronnie, how you feeling, bro?
Oh, I'm just looking up Mr. Fabrice Fabrault while I'm also listening to what you guys are doing and just putting everything down and then ready to call. Yeah, I'm feeling good.
Let's make some phone calls.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, this is the crescendo of the day, guys. Ronnie is going to call these agents and we're going to have some conversations today. So I hope you guys are ready. Get your popcorn. Okay.
Jamil, if you don't mind, I'm sorry, everybody. I had a little breakdown at my
Ronnie.
house last night. So I had to relocate everything in here. And so I'm kind of jiving with some computers right now and trying to get everything down. Benson, are we, as I'm talking to the agent, are you able to like pull the comps up for me, or am I doing that on my screen? Or
I can do it for you. Which one are you going to call first, Ronnie?
I'm thinking the very first one, which was off of, it was with 4687 20th Avenue South. And that agent is going to be Fabrique, I think his name was. Fabrice.
Yeah, Ronnie, and then when you call, just put your phone on speaker and we'll stay quiet.
Okay.
Yeah, Ronnie, if you want to pull it up on your computer too,
Okay. Yeah.
if you want, I mean, and then that way you can scroll around and look at different
Right.
things
Perfect.
and you won't have to guide me, but I'll have this up for the group.
All right. Awesome. Give me 1 second, guys. Actually, let's just call him now. Just do this. 1-727-331-2145. All right, here we go. And then. All right.
How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling great. Thank you, sir. I'm feeling good. I just want to get this thing pulled up on here and I'm good to go.
Yeah. So what are you going to be using to call, Ronnie?
My cell phone, I'll be utilizing my cell phone because it's in Florida. I feel like I've had success in the past dialing *67 first as a private number. Just because when they see 714, they go, California guy. That's
a great point. So guys, what Ronnie is saying right now is that rarely do agents pick up phone calls from out-of-state numbers. Okay, so Ronnie, the first thing that I would say to any of you guys that are working in, say you live in Florida, you live in California, and you want to start calling agents in Florida, get a Google Voice number in Florida. Okay, get a phone number in Florida. They're cheap. You can get them from Batch. You can get them from Google Voice, CallRail, whatever the thing. Get a frickin' phone number local to the market you're working in. Don't call from your California cell phone to a Florida agent. They're not going to pick up. What Ronnie is saying is he's going to dial *67 so he makes his number private. So he's hoping that the agent will answer a private call. Okay.
Yeah, and also if it doesn't work, I've got Batch dialer here. So if I need to, I can buy a number, but I think we'll be fine. So let me call this. *67. And let me just pull this guy up real quick, guys. Sorry.
People don't answer unknown numbers, Carl. Privates and unknowns are a little bit there. It's better than out of state, but I wouldn't try to call unknown. My preference is Ronnie use a Florida number.
All right, I'm calling, guys.
Okay.
So what I
You have reached Favorite Barrel or P Real Estate. I'm not available right
Hey,
now.
Ronnie.
Leave me a message
Yes, sir.
with your name.
Send him a text message.
Yes, sir.
Bonjour. Vous êtes sur la messagerie de Fabrice Barreau.
Send him a text message and say, hey, I'm calling about some listings you have. I'm phoning from out of state. Can are you available to chat?
Okay. Copy that. I'm gonna send it right now. And I'm also Jamil, if you don't mind, I'm gonna follow up with an email. I already have his email address.
And what people are saying is try calling him 3 times. So call him again and then one more time, and maybe he'll answer on the third. Let's try it.
Calling out of state. Okay.
What about a voicemail, Jamil? Do you think that's effective?
Yeah, we'll try that too. But I mean, we just want this dude to answer the phone. That's, I'm trying to give whatever tips we can to get this guy to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he read it at 10 o'clock. It's read.
Okay.
So
try calling without *67 now.
yes, sir, I just did. He wrote,
Okay.
hello, can't talk right now, probably around 2 p.m.
Okay. All right. So that will have to be at 2 p.m. Let's get to the next one.
Or P Real Estate. I'm not available right now. Please
1 second, Jamil, I'm
leave me a
sorry.
message with your
He
name.
said
I'm
can't talk,
available
can talk till
right
2.
now.
Who is this and what's it regarding?
Vous êtes sur la messagerie de Fabrice Barreau, agent sorti.
Okay.
Un message.
You can respond to him. You can respond to him in a bit. Let's get to the next call.
Hi there, Fabrice. Give me a call back, 714-469-1863. I'm looking to purchase not only one home, but 2 homes and potentially other homes. Thank you. Bye. Okay.
Beautiful.
Perfect. What's the other one you want to call now, Ronnie?
The other one would be the one at 4401 17th Street.
Hey, Emily, do we still have a bunch of people sitting in the lobby?
Let me check.
4401. That's not it.
17th Avenue, I apologize. 17th Avenue South, St. Petersburg, 276.5. I'm gonna Keller.
Okay.
Listing is key.
So this is the one that's been on the market for 76 days.
76 days, copy.
There's about 800 in the lobby and then 500 here.
Holy shit. 800 people are sitting in the lobby right now?
That's what it says, yeah.
What the hell, guys?
Well, I mean, technically
800 total,
there-
so there's only 300 in the lobby that aren't in here.
yeah.
They're still watching though.
Yeah, they're still watching.
But they can't hear us.
I might have been wrong earlier.
Okay, so guys, I'm just looking for Keith's number, which I have. And then I'm gonna pop it up in Palm right now.
But
They
they can't
have to.
chat? Like, what's the difference between being in the lobby and being in here?
Being in here, you can be in the chat that is super active. When you're out there, you just can't participate in the side chat here.
Guys,
They have to hear us because they wouldn't be watching with no sound.
They would have left.
Bobby, can you just one more time? Can you give them what they got to do to come into from the lobby in here? Guys, network in here. What are you doing in the lobby, yo? How can they tell they're in the lobby first and foremost?
It says in the lobby, and then if you scroll a little bit, there's day one, and you can hit join session.
Guys, are you hearing this? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yes, you. Hit the big blue button that says join.
If you can't figure out how to join the Zoom, you're not going to be able to buy a house.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, I honestly, if you can't get out of the lobby into the session here, maybe you quit.
Don't quit.
Guys, come on.
Ronnie, do you got the number, sir?
Yes, sir. I just was waiting for whatever, and I'm ready to call.
All right.
And then
Let's call.
All right, cool. And then Jamil, just for follow-up reasons, I CC'd you in that email to Fabrice. All right.
Awesome.
No, guys, if you are in this chat right here, you're in the session.
Yeah, if you're in the chat, you're in the session.
All right, I'm calling.
Call.
Hi there, you've reached Ricky Lee, MCA at Keller Williams Seminole. Please leave me a message and I'll get back to you shortly.
Hi there, my name is Ronnie Skyberg. I'm a local investor. Please give me a call back when you have an opportunity, 714-469-1863. Partner of mine had purchased a property in your neighborhood recently, so I'm looking to apply. Thank you. Bye.
Ronnie, try 3 times in a row before you leave a message. Don't block your number.
Yes, sir. 3 times before a message.
Hi there, you've reached Ricky Lee, MCA at Keller Williams Seminole. Please leave me a message. Hi there, you've reached Ricky Lee, MCA at Keller Williams Seminole. Please leave me a message.
Let's send her a text.
Okay, I just sent her one, right? Well, it's gonna be fired off now. Okay, it's fired off. Text is fired off. I also have another number. It looks like Jamil 1917-734-978.
Yeah, there were two on him. Just a little side note for people too, like when they list properties, they'll oftentimes put like a general number and they'll have like a rotation of agents to answer that within the same office. They call it floor time. So you can see she was from the Keller Williams Realty Seminole. She's just one of the agents in the office that's taking incoming calls.
Hi there, Keith. How are you?
Who's this?
My name is Ronnie Skyberg. I'm an investor out in St. Petersburg. I'm looking to purchase some property, and I noticed you're a real estate agent.
Where are you now?
I'm currently in my house.
I mean, are you in St. Petersburg or are you somewhere else?
No, sir, I'm actually somewhere else right now. I'm in California. My partners are investing in some property out in Florida in St. Peters area, and I'm looking to
All right, so
potentially.
are you a scout or are you the owner?
I'm actually the owner of the company, sir.
What's the name of your company?
EMS Legacy Investments LLC was established in December of 2021.
When was the last time you bought in St. Pete?
Last time I personally bought was never. This is actually my first opportunity at buying, but I do know a lot of people that are investors that are big guys that have a lot of money that are willing to back me up and help me out.
I understand. That's not why I'm asking all that. I'm sure you do have money. How can I help you?
Yeah, I was just looking at a property off Zillow at 4401 17th Avenue South in St. Petersburg.
Right, it's an end user property, so it's not much that's going to happen there. It still shows foreclosure on it and auction. It's being removed because we're getting a ridiculous amount of investors calling about it. And it's an end user property. It's a rental. It's owned by another investor that's had it for like 15 years.
Okay.
But if you want to send me your email address, and if I get properties with some equity in it, I can keep you in a loop.
Yeah, I'm not so too concerned about necessarily that right now. I mean, I would love to send you my information if you don't mind. I'd love to follow up with you on that. But in terms of this property, what's the seller looking to do? What are we looking to do exactly with it? We'd love to help you out.
I don't think you can. There's no money in it for you.
No money in
It's
it.
full market value.
Okay. So let me ask you this question. I'll shoot you my email address. And then can I write down your email address and I'll send you my bio deck to kind of up.
Is this your cell phone?
Yes, sir, it is.
I'll send you my email address.
Okay, great. And I appreciate it, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Wow. That guy was taking a big salty dump while he was on the phone today, wasn't he? Holy moly.
I like it. All
I
right.
feel like you handled it really well, though.
Oh my God. I wanted to be like, hey, listen, motherfucker.
Wow.
Sorry, didn't mean to swear.
We're good.
I loved your composure there, bro. You were truly awesome. That was just like, that guy was an absolute turd ball.
Yeah.
But you handled it so well. A couple of notes there.
Okay.
I truly believe that he's actually going to be somebody that you might do business with in the future, even though he's completely unprofessional in the way he behaves. The cool thing about this is that he was very well aware that this house has no money in it. Mm-hmm. So what did he say that we got? What can we take out of that conversation to give us an understanding of where this guy's headspace is? Okay. First and foremost, he said there's no equity in this deal. Okay. He also said it's an investor-owned property. It's a rental end user. Okay. He gave us lots of signals that this person is not at all motivated.
Mm-hmm.
This guy has no motivation to sell here whatsoever. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I swore. It happens every once in a while. Okay. Leave me alone. He has no motivation to sell whatsoever. Okay.
Even though he's in foreclosure.
This guy sucks. Okay. So what he did say though, is that he has properties with equity. He's got opportunities that come to him. So what I would do, honestly, Ronnie, is I would follow up with this guy every couple of weeks and reach out. Here's a piece, Ronnie, that I think you're not leveraging well in what you're saying to the people. I want to know more about you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so like you're like, hey, I'm a local investor. It's cool, but I think you can get a little bit more out in that, you know, and like, hey, it's my name is Ronnie. I'm a fireman and a real estate investor. Like I want to hear you're a fireman right out the gate.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I immediately, if you call me and I hear Ronnie, I'm a fireman and a local investor, my guard is going to come down. Okay, because you understand the concept of status. Okay, when you call people, you want to make sure you're creating status. Okay, you want somebody to understand that you are somebody that should be respected, that should be spoken to with kindness, and somebody that is worth their time speaking to on the other line. You're not just some fly-by-night weirdo investor that's going to waste their time and cause them grief. Okay, you're a respectable human being. So I would love for you to figure out how to add that into your approach. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Let's get that in the exposition of who you are so people can understand that.
All righty.
Okay. Let's see if there's another I'd like for us to get, I know we're gone over time here.
Uh-oh.
I'm fine, Ronnie. You got some more time? Is everybody here?
Oh yeah, I got
fun
plenty.
time?
I got time. I'm just looking for where you guys went on my Zoom. Disappeared on me.
Oh, pull up your Zoom app.
All right, here we go. There we go. There it is.
I'd like to hear you have another conversation.
Okay. Let's do it.
Which one are you calling now, Ronnie?
Let's see here. We got 1, 2, 3. Grab my other one. You know, it's funny too, Jamil, is it felt a little different calling an agent out of state versus in state. Just the feel of it. All right, cool.
Yeah, it will feel different because immediately here's the thing. You wouldn't have gotten any of that initial like pap, pap, pap. He like hit you with 3 jabs right out the gate, right? Because you didn't use a local phone number.
Right. Joseph.
So it's better if you can set up a Google Voice with the local line, right? Tomorrow when we're calling California, you're going to be calling using a California number. You're going to have an easier day tomorrow. But I think on day 3, what we need to have is we've got to have an Oklahoma phone number set up before we start the day, so that we can really show people what these conversations should sound like when you're aligned with in the same market as the person.
Yes, sir. Okay. This one is 1501414105.
I'm sorry, say that again, Ronnie.
4105 18th Avenue.
South.
Yes, sir. That was sold, so that was his.
No, that was the comp.
That's a comp property.
Yeah, sorry. 150 15.
Real quick, Emily, do we have anybody from the Astro Flipping mentorship in the chat?
We have April in the chat.
Guys, if you're having a good time listening to how I teach and the things that I do, I can tell you that I absolutely love hanging out with the Astro community. We do this twice a week. We interact. I teach. You guys can tell I got a lot in here with respect to what we do. If you resonate with me and you feel like you could learn from me, and you feel like this could be something that could be an opportunity for you to spend more time and to take your real estate game to the next level, April is in the chat right now. You want to chat with her and just get an understanding of what it's like. What if you're an Astro Flipping? Leave us a chat right now and say, tell us how you feel about it. Does it suck? Do you hate it? Do you love it? Let us know. And if you are interested in hearing more about working with me, April is going to put a little link in the chat, and you can just hear about it.
Astrofam is going off over there.
Hey,
Benson, is that the one you've got? 4687 20th?
Oh, I just ran the search again to start from the top. I thought we wrote those down.
Yeah, I got 4687 20th.
that's the one. This is the one.
So this is also Fabrice, though. Remember, the agent had 2 properties.
Yeah, so that's it. He just opened up his email, so I don't know, maybe he'll call back. Yeah,
these 2 right here were from Fabrice. I think we said we liked this one, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, that one's on
this
here.
one.
1501
Newark.
Yeah, we want to talk. Let's try last call. Let's call this guy Joseph.
Walter.
Scott Fader is the agent, Joseph Walter Realty.
Okay. 1248 294. All right, here we go.
I don't see a. It looks like it's his office lump. I'm gonna keep digging.
Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Please listen closely to the menu options. They've recently changed. To our
Yeah, he's got his office line in all of his different phone number options there. Let's check. Let's see if we can find something.
So interesting to me that real estate agents won't put their cell phone number out there. It's like, why? You know, why you gotta be that way? Why aren't you trying to do business, bro? You know, I don't understand it. I really don't. Yeah, I'm getting ready to eat, man. Who's gonna have what's for lunch today?
A couple homes. Sorry, I don't know if
Ronnie, that was the best. That was fireman humor at its best, guys.
Hey, here's something about Scott. It looks like Scott Fader is in the military, Ronnie. I'm not sure. Maybe that fireman quote will go, you know, because you're both service, you're both serving the public.
Ooh, somebody said Jersey Mike's. You know what I'm thinking? I'm gonna have Jimmy John's.
Dude, Jersey Mike's goes hard.
Jersey Mike's is good, but you know what the problem with Jersey Mike's is?
What?
It doesn't age well.
Oh, well, I eat that whole thing right there.
You got to, because if you go to Jersey Mike's and then they make it wet, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? They make it wet. So then they wrap that up and then you put it in the car and you drive it somewhere. Now you got soggy dog.
Yeah.
I don't like soggy dog. I want my food fresh. I don't like soggy dog.
Jamil, I noticed something as we were looking this guy up. It said broker at whatever his email address was. So if I was to contact him because he's a broker, right? If we were to do a wholesale on it, the broker's not getting anything. So is he going to shoo me away or how's that work?
Don't overthink it.
Okay. Copy. All right. Let's see here.
Yeah. I'm not finding another number, Ronnie. All they have here is his listing or his office number. That's it.
Okay.
Find Scott Fader.
Scott Fader's hiding.
Yeah, Scott Fader is hiding. Okay.
All right.
Well, guys, this was wow, look at his did you see his Google reviews? Go back. Look at that. This guy had a bad day. To scoff at a client while answering the phone is incredibly unprofessional. Damn. Oh, he had a bad day. Poor guy. Anyhow, fun day today, guys. Fun day today, right? We had some calls. Look, tomorrow we're gonna get right into it. Okay, we're gonna get right into the meat and potatoes. I'm absolutely hoping that we don't have 300 people sitting in the lobby tomorrow. So we're going to try to figure out something internally. Maybe we're going to send out an instruction on how to move from the lobby to the main session, because apparently 300 of us need that.
You need to have a Zoom account, and when you're sitting in the lobby and you don't see a button that says join, you you click on sign in using your Zoom account, and then that button will appear and you can press the big obvious button. Once you sign in using your Zoom account, that's the main key. Like, you can be in the lobby without a Zoom account, but you need to log in with a Zoom account in order to join the session.
That's why they were all in the lobbies, because they don't have Zoom accounts.
So create a Zoom account before tomorrow, and you can join the session with the rest of us.
How many are in the lobby right now?
846.
Okay. Wow.
But that includes the ones that are in here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So the 300 of you that didn't participate in today's chat, okay? When we're done today, go sign up for Zoom account is free. Okay? Go sign up for a free Zoom account and participate in the chat tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to be starting in San Bernardino, Riverside. We're going to hop right in it. Okay. We're going to have, we already heard from Tarek. We already heard his story. You guys know who he is. Tarek and myself, we're going to get right into the meat and potatoes of it tomorrow. So get ready to just get jamming. Okay. Tomorrow is going to be an incredibly productive day. Any last thoughts, Ronnie, Benson, Emily, Bobby?
yeah, there was one person in the chat earlier who said that they started recording on their end at the very beginning. If you could email damjidesign@gmail.com with that.
That'll be awesome.
That'd be awesome. If you're
You have
still here.
Any idea who that person was?
I can scroll up, but it'll take a while.
Yeah, we could
Oh.
find them.
We should probably scroll up before we end the Zoom, because once you end the Zoom, you won't get that back.
Yeah.
I think it was Simple Setup.
Yes, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's who they were.
Okay, can we
Simple Setup.
let's figure out who that person is real quick. Benson, what do you have to say to us? Final thoughts.
Real quick, you can save the chat, Emily. Just go to the little 3 dots on the bottom right-hand corner. Click more, right
Oh,
next
yeah,
to the
look at that.
smiley
Save
face.
chat.
You can save that chat, and then you can just track them down.
Yoo-hoo! Thanks,
Well,
Nancy.
I just want to remind everybody too that Ronnie was lucky to get a guy on the phone during that time period that we were talking. You're gonna have to leave a lot of voicemails. You're gonna get a lot of unreturned calls. It's gonna be persistence. There's still work to be done here. It doesn't just all come together just willy-nilly. Like, you're gonna have to make the calls. You're gonna have to leave the voicemails. You're gonna want to put these agents in a funnel, right? You want to put their information into your CRM, keep track of them. Last time you talked to them, what voicemail you left. This isn't.
Oh man, is that just me?
I'm
Yeah,
alive.
no, I think Benson froze.
He's frozen.
Different than if you were calling buyers direct, right? You want to make sure they're proper. I froze. Are we back?
Yeah, we lost
you
you
guys
there
hear
for a
me?
second. You went full Elsa on us.
So I don't know where you guys lost me, but I would just wanted to remind everybody that this is how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you don't get a hold of people. He got lucky in talking to one person in that short time frame we had. Make sure you're getting all their information down, put them into your CRM, put all their information in there so you can do the follow-up, because it's going to require some follow-up to get these guys on the line. And even the one that gave him some beef, like, that's a good contact. Like, keep these people in your funnel and follow up, even if they don't have a property right now that you need. They're going to in the future, and you want to start building that relationship.
Guys, I'm seeing people ask the question, hey, I'm in Astro, how do I get privy? The same way. Privy is not owned by Astro Flipping. I actually pay for my own Privy account. Everybody's got to pay for a Privy account. It's just what it is. But we do get a discount, right? So you're going to go to runprivy.com and use the promo code Ronnie, and you'll get 20% off. And lastly, Ronnie, any final thoughts today?
No, I thought it was super cool. I got I was telling you guys earlier when we were talking about learning how to talk. So real quick, let me finish this up real quick. So when I was doing his his speech, I was talking to a bunch of people and I had to learn how to talk. So now learning this industry and then sitting here and doing this is super cool. And so tomorrow, I'm really excited to make a lot of phone calls. Do we have like a quota or like an accountability thing? How many phone calls can we do tomorrow, Jamil?
Yeah. So here's what I'd like to do, because I really want to get to on the calls tomorrow. I think that's like one of the more valuable pieces. Like really identifying properties and getting to the calls is valuable, right? We got to see Benson like in full force today, show us how to get to source these opportunities. So what I'd like to do is I would love for you to can you come with some homework done, Ronnie?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What I'd like for you to do is go into the San Bernardino, Riverside County market. And I want you to come equipped with 10 possible deals, or either 5 brand new listings that look like they're well priced and 5 houses that have been sitting on the market for 30 days or longer that you can have a conversation with the agent about. Okay, what we're going to do, come with those addresses, okay, come with their phone numbers. And then Benson tomorrow we're going to very quickly comp each of those so we can see the prowess of Privy and its comping capacity and how dope the software is to comp. And then you're going to hop on those phones and we're going to hammer through those calls tomorrow. Sound fair?
Yeah, I like
so
it.
guys, tomorrow is gonna be like packed. Ronnie's gonna come with 10 houses. Benson's gonna comp 10 houses with me whapping in his ear. Hey, Benson, whack, 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 whack. Okay, and then it's Ronnie back on the calls.
Yeah.
So be ready,
Yes.
be prepared. Come with a snack. I love you. Thanks for watching another one of my YouTube videos. Now it's your turn to go out and take some action. But before you do, like and subscribe to my channel because the law of reciprocity means you owe me.